Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the second semi-final of the night, and as is tradition by now in the Dutch StarCraft League, or at least this edition of the Dutch StarCraft League, we're going to have a live coin toss with the admin, and of course, our second semi-finalists, Harstem and Fmtc. Get ready. Harstem picking tails. What was this? Who can start? That was a pretty smooth toss, by the way. I wanna stand in the back and give some live commentating. Oh, Fmtc vetoed battle. No, wait. Fmtc vetoed Neon Violet Square. Harstem vetoed battle on the boardwalk. Okay, it's already down to map picks. And Harstem picks Odyssey from map number 1. Abyssal Reef is FMTC's pick for map number 2, and 3 is going to be Black-Pink as picked by Harstem. The final pick is Catalyst, and that leaves Ascension to Ire as 5th map. So it's gonna be, can I say that one more time? It's gonna be Odyssey, Abyssal Reef, Black-Pink, Catalyst, and Ascension to Ire. All right, admin, take it away.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Wyman once again here with Loco. We've got another best of 5 with you with one of the best players we have in the Netherlands. It's going to be Harstem versus FMTC. Which one is the best player is something either you can find out or we're just going to see it right here live on stream.
I've actually been really liking the way that FMTC has been playing this so far. I mean, I've seen a couple of games that he's played. He's been playing some cheeky strategies, definitely mixing it up and definitely you know, also just surprising us, even though we're watching the games as they happen, of course. That doesn't mean that the opponent most definitely is going to be running into some trouble here as well.
Oh, yeah.
They were actually laughing just now. Earlier today, Harstem was actually defeated 2-1 by FMTC.
Yes, he was. Some cheeky proxies I heard. I didn't see it. But
no, I didn't catch all of the games either, so
yeah.
sadly it is going to be a bit of a surprise to us. Obviously, we're playing round robin, lots of games in general.
Yes. Man, it's the question is, of course, is he going to be able to repeat such a performance in best of 5? Haters will say no.
Best of 5 is definitely a bit of a different story, though. Obviously, a best of 3, you need to win 2 games.
Yep.
In a best of 5, you need to win 3 in total, which is definitely a more impressive feat. And usually, it's more accurate of who is the better player.
Yes. Oh man, yeah. It doesn't usually indicate which player is the better player. At this point, I do think you know, Harstem, in terms of form, like we were all, Uthermal said it himself that Uthermal was probably in slightly better form than Harstem. For Harstem to even lose that best of 3 2-1, you know, I guess you could call it an anomaly, but it's still a bit weird. So, I don't know. I think FMTC will probably take a map, but I do see Harstem eking this one out.
Yeah, so it is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. It does open up for some variety of cheeses from both sides of the spectrum.
Yes.
I wonder if that is something we will be seeing. Now, all of the players are already invited into the lobby. It looks like we will be getting started with this next best of 5 very shortly. Of course, this is going to be the second semi-finals. After this, we will be jumping into the grand finals.
Grand finals, indeed.
I mean, it is looking right now, right? I think most people would have predicted this as well. Like, it's going to be a Harstem Uthermal final, but
it's all
Harstem
up
first
FMTC.
has to go. Yeah, I would love it if FMTC would win. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Harstem. He's an awesome guy, but
Definitely.
I wouldn't like, you know, it would be pretty cool. It would be a great storyline at the very least
like
for FMTC to take this one.
Yeah, Uthermal mentioned the same during his post-game interview. Like he loves breakout performances like this.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
FMTC was already really playing well in the Thermi Cup. So yeah, I think I know who Uthermal is rooting for in this series.
Also, it's you know, convenient that he would have to go up against the winner of this series.
Very
He probably rather faces FMTC than he does Harstem.
All right. Well, we are into game number 1 between these two Dutch StarCraft giants. We have in the top left, he is the Blue Zerg, playing for Team MCon. He is FMTC.
And his opponent spawning in the cross position in the bottom right hand corner of Odyssey LE, playing with the red Protoss probes, we have none other than Harstem. Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of cheers here and there.
Yeah,
nice.
boy.
Or I'm seeing them, I'm hearing them.
Yes. Well, I think we saw who was cheering, but yeah.
Technically accurate, I suppose.
Man.
All right, what do you expect from this series? I mean, I heard you wanted to do predictions for the last one.
Yeah, I'm calling this one 3-1 Harstem. And
Okay.
but I think Fmtc is just going to play really aggressive.
And speaking of which, he's actually already opening up with that that hatchery right here at the gold. I think
Yeah.
3-1 is a pretty solid prediction. I'm going to give him a little bit more favor, and I'm going to say 3-2 in favor of Harstem.
All right. Well, I think Harstem, this is basically Harstem's series to lose. Like, so actually him going for this early probe scout is actually a really good decision. He's
Yeah.
going to see that pool, but he should know that the timing is off. You know, this isn't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a pool first build into speed links. No, he has to be going for some sort of gas build. Let's see where that probe is headed. Well,
He's going to find out very
he's going
shortly.
to find it out really quickly.
It's rather common actually for Zerg players to do something along these lines on of course on Odyssey. It does have that quick gold base. Generally speaking, Protoss is not really going to do a whole lot about it. He's probably just going to let the Zerg player have this base right here as well. We'll see if that's going to be the case, but so far Harstem is just simply putting down his own Nexus, getting the Cyber Core at the front, and I would not be surprised if he's going to allow this to happen. And actually, there's a bit of a drone transfer happening right now as well. Some players do this, some don't. Some of them even have, you know, still those blue mineral patches in their beaks, in their mouths. I don't know exactly what they have, but regardless, they're going to bring those blue mineral patches to the newly acquired hatchery and then start mining those beautiful golden ones as well, which of course will give him some additional income.
I like the skin that makes it look like they're wearing mittens.
Oh yeah.
You know that one?
Oh yes, I know that one.
There's a couple of interesting drone skins, and that one's definitely my favorite.
Of course, in tournament settings, generally speaking, we don't see players playing with skins,
Yeah.
just for clarity's sake. Now, we do see the quick Stargate follow-up here for Harstem. Definitely not playing anything unorthodox just yet, just simply playing straightforward. Of course, one of the disadvantages of taking this gold this early on is that FMTC's bases are going to be very far apart. So Harstem is actually currently heading already over towards the golden base here with a single adept. I highly doubt that this one will be able to do anything, but double-pronged harassment can be an issue.
Yeah, he's expecting the adept to come from the other side. Nice movement there by Harstem. Gonna chase this one away, and this adept is already like, haha, I got one.
So far, so good here, though, for the Zerg player. Not really taking any kind of critical damage whatsoever. Oracle is already being chrono boosted out as well, so we will be able to see that one coming in very shortly here for our Protoss as well.
I like the quick overlord speed here from FMTC. Like, do you think that's just going to be scouting purposes, or maybe he'll try to do drops?
He's actually leaving the drones in gas. Yeah, okay, I was going to say, he needs to do something with that. So he's getting the Overlord speed upgrade, additional Queens, as well as a Roach Warren. Now, he has been playing tricky strategies so far. Could be a couple of different things. He once again could go for that Night Display. We've already seen him play. He could even just go for a Queen drop.
You need a lair for that, right?
Yeah, you do need a lair for the Nidus Worm, but not for the Overlord drops.
Exactly. So yeah, that might definitely be the case here. And you know, with the Overlord speed, he'll definitely be able to use those not just for ferrying his units across, but also to do some fancy drop micro.
Alrighty, first Oracle is going to be moving into the gold. We'll be able to pick up a single drone before it is forced on out of there. Third Queen now even coming into this gold as well. I like this Phoenix follow-up, actually.
Yeah, one Overlord getting picked off here. Phoenix follow-up is, of course, I think a very solid mid-game composition here. Harstem does not appear to be phased at all by this early gold.
No, he doesn't really care, it seems like.
Yeah.
So he knows that something fishy is going on, though. He scouted the amount of gas. I don't think he's seen the evolution chamber inside of the Zerg's main just yet.
There?
No, I don't think he actually.
I saw him cancel something, I think.
I don't think he was canceling anything crucial there. He was making two Queens once again at once. So I think he's just simply getting more and more of those. Going for a lot of Overlords now too. He's most definitely planning on doing something aggressive now, in particular as well, with those Dropper Lords coming in, as well as Zerg Burrow.
Tech-wise, I don't see all that much that Harstem has that is really super effective against this. He could get a Void Ray. That might actually be super interesting, but right now he's keeping on top of all these roaches. He's added on the Robo Bay. Of course, Immortals will be very effective against the roaches. And oh, he spots a Dropper Lord.
Yeah, he knows that he's up against something here in just a little bit. It doesn't really matter all too much what it is, as long as he manages to hold on. So from here on out, we will probably see non-stop units from our Protoss player. He's gonna go for these Immortals. I like that choice a lot. But Harstem's Phoenix is actually occupied right now in the main base. A lot of shield batteries are coming in, though.
Yeah, he's extra shield batteries, already has sentries, he's got adepts. you know,
He could go into
Harstem
the
is
main.
ready for this. Yeah, he could definitely go into the main without FMTC noticing without Harstem noticing. But it really seems to be going for the natural. Okay, it's going to be a Ravager transition. Of
Yeah,
course,
this is a full all-in though. This is a full all-in. Only 27 drones here in total for the Zerg, and there are way more workers for the Protoss player already. He means to close out this game right here, right now, or at the very least do critical damage. Does he have enough?
Oh, he needs to pick up those queens or transfuse them at the very least. Damage output-wise, Harstem is really keeping up here. The shield batteries are, of course, a massive factor
Oh
in
my
all
God.
of this. But the Zerg force is quite relentless, it seems. Like, who's going to hold on? The transfuses are still there.
The shield batteries are keeping these Protoss units alive. These Immortals that are fighting in the back, they are absolutely crucial. As long as they don't get surrounded, and there's even a stasis ward right there as well, I think this is going to be a hold right here for the Protoss player in red.
Yeah.
He is barely even losing any units so far. I mean, sure, that gateway went down. The second one is running very low, and it will go down as well. But look at the amount of Protoss remaining. Harstem dominating this first game.
Yeah, he's just completely
Oh my
smashing
God.
through this all-in. Very nice all-in. And that was just super solid, you know. Like, how else would you do this? This was just textbook if
Yeah.
you want to hold builds like this. Loved it.
So for those of you that play Protoss, when you sniff out your Zerg opponent is going for an all-in, make shield batteries.
And Immortals.
The shield batteries go very well with Archons, Immortals indeed. They are pretty good at cleaning things up. But
Yeah.
apparently, yeah, he just simply scouted. He scouted it really early. So he had, of course, those units in the main base of the Zerg player, and he saw that there was continued gas mining.
Yeah.
That alone is a massive giveaway, because Zerg wants to get that third hatchery up. They usually want to power out 70 workers. And if you're getting additional gas after Pneumatized Carapace,
Yeah.
there's no particular reason to do that. And even going for the gold and then Pneumatized Carapace is already pretty uncommon. Usually Zerg really wants to power out those workers
Yeah.
early. So I think that Harstem knew exactly what it was that he had to go up against. He just simply played defensive.
I love just the textbook style that Harstem was using here.
Yeah.
You know, you send out an early probe, you scout, you figure out what your opponent is doing, and then you react accordingly. Just that, and of course making a lot of units, is just how you play StarCraft 101. Well, maybe not 101 because it gets a bit more complicated, but yeah.
Do you remember the posts like a couple of months ago where people were complaining, well, without a mothership core, how could Protoss possibly defend anything?
It's impossible, yeah.
No, the shield battery is definitely a pretty powerful little
pretty,
structure.
pretty
How
good
many did he have here? Like 4 or
I think
5?
4, yeah. The cool thing about the shield battery is like it's been in the StarCraft universe ever
yeah.
since Brood War. I think even earlier. And I don't think anyone ever really thought they were going to put it in the game at some point. Like
I like it a
How
lot.
would you do it? But having it on autocast like that and regenerate shields, it's pretty effective.
Funny thing is that you don't even really see it all that much in Brood War. At the very least in professional StarCraft 1, it's
No.
not a unit like we see it at nearly as much as
No.
we do in StarCraft 2 right now. It's still getting some fine-tuning, by the way, for those of you curious. It recently got added. It's now a little bit more expensive than it was at its introduction. But it does mean that Harstem managed to obtain victory there in game number 1, and I think the next one is going to be on Abyssal.
Indeed. We are here on Abyssal Reef, as you mentioned. Here on the bottom right, we have the Blue Zerg, representing Team MCon. He is FMTC.
And his opponent, currently 1-0 ahead in this best-of-5 series. He goes by the nickname of Harstem. Quite literally Kevin the King.
Indeed.
Oh, he's looking angry. He's
Yeah.
ready. He always does that lately when he plays professional matches. Have you noticed that? He always looks really upset.
Well, I know he's always sort of
It's the killer face.
internally singing along to the music, so maybe he's just listening to some really aggressive music.
Right.
I guess he likes it.
Bodies in the
I actually think that song's pretty cool because of the way it sounds and it's
most epic pro production he's ever seen.
oh yeah.
Here we do see the players giving the GLHFs. Apparently, FMTC was forced to take his third base instead of his natural expansion, but I'm sure he's going to be able to follow it up with an expansion here as his third very shortly as well.
Very good scouting here from Harstem once again with the probe. Spots everything FMTC is doing, not being in the dark about anything. Going for the gateway expand. We will likely see the cyber core being added very soon. Going into some tech. All eyes for me are on FMTC once again. I really feel Harstem is here, the player who needs to identify what his opponent is doing, respond accordingly. And that's kind of interesting because I feel usually the matchup is the other way around. You know, Zerg being the reactive race.
I think you're right in saying that Harstem is likely going to win most of the late game scenarios.
Yeah.
Right? So it is probably up to FMTC to try and just simply clean up the game early. And he's done so successfully as well in the matches that we have seen him play so far against very good players as well. I wonder if he's going to be able to pull something like that off as well right again, though. Because obviously, while he did end up winning the series against Harstem that he played earlier today, he ended up winning that one 2-1. Harstem now knows exactly what it is he's going up against. And he actually mentioned it as well a little bit ago when we asked him during his post-game interview in the quarterfinals, or in the round of 6, I suppose. He mentioned as well that after he beat Harstem, he figured that that was going to be it for him for the tournament. He figured that that was going to be, you know, his best performance today, and that was going to be it. But that does indicate that he showed exactly what it was that he planned on doing. And I guess, I mean, he may have a couple more tricks up his sleeve, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be playing like a straightforward macro game. I mean, we're on Abyssal Reef.
Yeah.
It's one of the most figured out maps because it's been around for like a year, maybe even longer at this point.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably about a year to a year and a half. It's been a while.
I'm not quite sure, but you're very likely just right. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he has a third hatch, usually for Zerg, is a very clear indication that they want to play a macro game. Harstem, no fear here, once again tries to send that probe in. And is going to be taking the initiative here, going for an Adept-based build. Adepts, of course, very good unit. I do expect Fmtc to be able to respond accordingly. As long as he gets his Bailing Nest in time, he should be okay.
No Nematized Skirpa is this time around here for the Zerg player. He does know exactly what it is he's going up against. Gonna follow this up with a quick Roach Warren. So some players like to go for the Banelings, other players like to go for the Roach Warren instead. And apparently Fmtc wants to go for those Roaches. So we will likely see a timing attack from Harstem with a whole lot of Adepts while he's transitioning to watch that third Nexus.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the question is, of course, what is Fmtc going to go do now? Because I mentioned, well, he's got 3 bases, he's going to play macro. But he's adding on 12 links and a Roach Warren. Is he actually going to drone up with his next round of drones? And I don't think so, because he's banking quite a lot of minerals. And I think that's going to be all Roaches once that Roach Warren finishes. And there we go, 6 Roaches. So there is a bit of an all-in coming. And the question is, which player is going to try to all-in who?
I wonder if he's going to really commit to a push here. I mean, if he manages to shut down these Adepts, he definitely has got a good chance of doing exactly that.
Big supply block, though, for Fmtc. Not what you want to see when you're going to go for an aggressive push like that. Good thing for him, I guess, is that when he has so many Roaches, is that he should be able to hold on and defend his main, his natural, pretty well against an Adept push.
Is he going to follow it up with drones right now, though? That's kind of the real question. Is he going to go for drones, or is he going to follow this up with a lot more units? And indeed, we see more and more Roaches queued up, and a single drone, because apparently those Roaches were lonely, but...
Yeah. Man, this is so nice by Harstem, just stringing his opponent along and time again.
There's no third Nexus, actually, interestingly enough. Harstem making an early push, but not quite having that third Nexus yet. He is going to go for that that Dropper Lord once again, is Fmtc, of course. That does mean that he's planning on being rather aggressive here. He's still got the Adepts across the map. They're actually dealing a little bit of damage right now as well.
I wonder if Harstem noticed that the natural is completely unsaturated. There are no drones here.
He must.
But actually, just doing this is already such a killer move. Like, he's forcing a player who wants to all-in to stay on the defensive. Like, he's just going to leave the Adepts there. Okay, they shaded into the third. Like, he's actually putting a Roach all-inning player apart with shading Adepts.
I mean, if the Roaches never fight the Adepts, I guess it's pretty hard to kill them, right? And here we are once again in the main base. He's going to continue running them around. No drones to be found here anymore because I guess they've been transferred to the natural. In the meantime, though, in the main of the Zerg player, or of the Protoss player rather, there is a massive drop going on as well, killing a couple of the probes already, but reinforcing Protoss units will be able to stop that.
I was going to say, can't lose your Adepts if you never take an engagement.
I can see the memes.
You did that on purpose. So where'd they go? I think they did get picked off or something.
I think they must have gotten picked off there eventually. It takes one wrong shade, right? But at this point, I mean, Harstem, we're 6 minutes into the game. He's going to take that third Nexus. It's 24 workers versus 47 here in favor of the Protoss. And as long as this... Wait, he's pulling the drones. Is that drones attacking?
I think that's... Okay. I think he just... Oh, wait. I think he just boxed them or something.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a... That's a sign of someone who's a little bit triggered by the situation.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. Now, he is planning to win the game right here, right now. Keep in mind, he has been making units for an extended period of time. Army-wise, you can see at the bottom of the screen as well, it's 54 supply right now for the Zerg player versus 42, so there's still a massive army.
Wait.
There's actually not that much Protoss.
Does Fmtc have a lair?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. You know what Harstem just made?
I see the Dark Shrines.
Does that mean that The
Yeah,
only
this
way
push is going to
FMTC
be very hard to... I mean, you can just warp in DTs defensively as well, right?
He can hold here, probably. I mean, he doesn't have to. It's still a large roach fort, so you got to be sort of careful. Yeah, he might have the second, third. Might.
Yeah, GG gets forced.
Oh, there's DT's just counterattacked.
Yeah, there was DT. There was a DT in the third base as well as in the natural. Harstem definitely looking dominant in this series so far. I love it. Like, they were sitting next to each other earlier as well, just having a little bit of friendly banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Obviously, they meet each other at events like this, and apparently, you know, when the show is on, Harstem no longer has that friendly face, but he's ready to take him down.
I mean, this is such Harstem-like play, you know,
Yeah.
like don't have to hold your third if you kill your opponent first.
I liked it a lot. Actually, like the adept play right there was really solid though. It was smart as well,
Oh,
just
yeah,
because he just slowed
so
down
good.
that push significantly.
Yeah,
I
that
wonder
was
if
really
he
good.
knew though, because he's been going for these adept pushes earlier on into this tournament as well. But interestingly enough, he got the third nexus with it every single time. This time around, he delayed it significantly. I wonder if that's like a build specifically designed to counter the style that FMTC plays. Could easily be, but regardless, this next game is going to be match point for the second semifinals.
Yes.
And it could very well be Harstem who may be facing off against U-Thermal in the grand finals.
Yeah. Like, the main thing about that Roach versus Adept thing was just the fact that Roaches are so much slower than Adepts.
Oh yeah.
They had to go off creep for a bit as well to catch up, and he just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a Zerg player, I would be very pained to watch that whole scenario play out. But
I wonder what like little tells Harstem gets that is going on, right? For example, the lack of creep spread between the natural and the third base, and the fact that Zerg didn't put down any tumors whatsoever, if I'm not mistaken. That is already a rather big tell that something aggressive could be coming your way, right? And it's little bits and pieces like that just simply sort of piece the puzzle together. Even if you have got inaccurate scouting information and incomplete scouting information, oftentimes you can still sort of figure out what it is your opponent is going for. But what could potentially be the last map of this series is going to be Black-Pink.
yeah, no saturation at the natural is also a big tell, I think. I think
Yeah,
he
yeah,
saw
for
it
sure.
quite early. All right.
Alrighty.
Well, this could potentially be the last shot for this Zerg player who we have right now in the top right of Black-Pink. He is playing for MCon Esports. He is FMTC.
He's looking calm and focused now. This happens sometimes to players where, you know, obviously you know that this may very well be a tournament life, so you better make a great show of it. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner, playing with the red probes and so far looking dominant in this series, we have Harstem.
Playing for his newfound team, Asterion Gaming, which is actually a Dutch team that's been around for a while, I believe.
Yeah.
I know they have at least a Counter-Strike and League of Legends team, so of course they also have one of the top tier StarCraft players on their roster, right?
Here we see once again a little bit of a nuisance, or just, you know, Harstem being a little bit annoying here with the very first probe, trying to deny that expansion from coming up. Interestingly enough, though, we have seen the spawning pool in the main base on that production tab for a while.
Yeah.
So he's just playing, you know, just having his dancing shoes on, playing around a little bit.
Yeah, I can't quite identify this dance, but it looks fancy. Oh, he's actually still gonna,
Oh,
still
look,
gonna
see?
annoy him though. Yeah,
The
that's
timing right here of Harstem is actually spot on. He knows
Yeah.
exactly when he needs to be down at that natural once again, and this actually hurts. It's little bits like that that just simply make the difference between like a high Grandmaster level player and a pro gamer. Look at it. Look how annoying that is. That's a good 20 seconds at least.
I mean, I'd like to quote Gordon Ramsay on this, but I don't think it'll be appropriate.
I'm trying to think which of the many quotes you could be going with.
Let's just say it was freaking painful to watch. Something like that. At least for me, that's one of the more iconic Gordon Ramsay quotes. Anyhow, Harstem seems to be still very comfortable going for an expansion of his own. Will soon be teching as a double gas. He can really do anything at this stage. He'll probably play either Adept or Oracle once again. Something like that, just to maintain map control, be quicker than his opponent, shade around, pick off units. FMTC on the other side here, what's he going to do? He hasn't taken his third yet, of course, that's a bit early for that. But other than regular tech, you know, what's he going to go for, you think?
I wonder, there's a couple of options. Apparently, Protoss is going to be going for the Stargate this time around. Not all too surprising, definitely a staple in this matchup. And right now, Harstem will also confirm that there is no quick third hatchery up just yet for his opponent. It's very important though, having that Stargate out does allow you to transition towards holding an all-in, potentially as well. Obviously, if there's going to be roaches moving across the map, he can just simply chrono boost out a Void Ray and be defended against pretty much everything that a Zerg player can throw at him, with the exception of maybe drop queens, although we have seen that a little bit here and there. It is rather uncommon, just because it takes so very long. Now, still no third hatchery here. There we go. He finally does take it. I was going to say, like, this is starting to get really late for the Zerg player. Eventually, it does go down. So I wonder if Fmtc may just be playing a macro game.
Yeah, he might actually try to play like a regular macro game against Harstem. I'd like to see him try at the very least, you know, and all signs seem to be, well, he's making, okay, he's still droning. I was kind of worried there was seeing 8 links, because that's what he did earlier in the previous game. You know, he made a whole bunch of links, then followed it up with roaches and more links.
Very standard play so far by him.
Yeah,
He's just going for a handful of links to defend against the depths.
Yeah, this is, okay, so he got the scout off, sees the Oracle, immediately throws down a bunch of spore crawlers, and he should be in a, I think he should be in a good position.
Lair once again, pretty early on, still leaving those drones in the gas and going for additional gases here in the natural expansion as well. Could be a couple of different things, of course. It's a little bit early to tell. Now the Zerglings are going to try and poke away at the front door here of Harstem.
I was going to say, like, I haven't seen a Void Ray all tournament, and who goes ahead and makes a Void Ray? Harstem.
They're still pretty good at sniping Overlords, right? This time around, we actually don't see Nemetes Carapace coming in here for Fmtc. So all of a sudden, that Void Ray is going to be capable of dealing a significant amount of damage. But I think Harstem is just playing his safest play. Yeah. Like, he's not taking any risks. Notice how he's not jumping in with the Oracle either. I mean, he could be committing very heavily to a mineral line, but if he loses that, it would be actually a pretty big deal. And right now, he scouts the timing of that lair. He knows that he's going up against something that is a little bit more unorthodox.
Yeah, he might actually be... yeah, I haven't...
Could be Nidus again, honestly.
Yeah, I really want to see what FTC is gonna make once he finishes that lair. Like, he's added on a Roach Warren for sure, but he's not just gonna stick to roaches. That's a bit silly. He keeps droning though. I like it. Like, he's actually trying the macro. Would have been a shame if he'd just tried to go through, you know, with all in builds. Oh,
there we go.
Okay, well, I guess he's gone all in either way.
Yeah, he just committed to too much gas in the lair right there too early to really not go for an all in. So he's once again gonna be going for a bit of a cheeky push here with the Nidus network. Now, of course, the Nidus network allows you to tunnel units across the map very, very easily. This Overseer is actually going to be crucial as well, because I wouldn't be surprised if this is the one spotting where he wants to put down the Nidus Worm.
Oh, Void Ray, something in the natural actually revealed the Nidus Worm.
Oh, he knows what's up.
Harstem should definitely know what's up. It's quite close to finishing, actually. Void Ray is already in a decent position to snipe an incoming Overseer. It seems to me like the Overseer is just going to fly in at an angle that he will be able to dodge. This Void Ray... okay. Yeah,
it will be scouted very early. Either way, Protoss should be aware of exactly where the Nidus Worm is down, and there we go. He's going to move all of his units over. Now, of course, if you put in the Queens first, they will actually be popping out first as well. But if your damage output is high enough, you can still definitely snipe that Nidus Worm right when it spawns. And here we go. We see the transfuses going down on that Nidus Worm.
Oh, but
great play so far, but he just barely runs out of energy, and only a handful of Zerg units come out of the Worm.
Oh man.
Is it enough?
Is it enough? It's a good question. Those Queens are actually quite beefy.
Oh my god.
Oh, he just did that.
And here we go. He's going to recharge some shields as well on that Void Ray. Look at him. He's just waiting. He's just waiting.
Does he still have the Oracle? Yeah, okay. I guess...
I mean, these
some
units are essentially
Protoss players would have slash-danced that Oracle at this stage, I think. Oh, nice. Actually picking up quite a lot of probes here. Oracle moving in to defend, needs to get rid of these Zerglings quickly. The force in the main gets cleaned up really fast, and some of the depths do more, just do this really quickly, and no real damage done.
Looking solid here. Now we do see, once again, a lurker follow-up here from the Zerg player. So apparently Fmtc has got another trick up his sleeve, but so far he is very far behind in this game already as well. 57 Harvesters for the Protoss versus only 40 from the Zerg. That is not a work account that you will be very happy with right now if you are the Zerg player in blue. And while he's going to be able to get himself Glide Reconstitution, he's going to be getting himself the Lurkers as well. There's already a handful of Immortals and whatnot. Or there's already a handful of units out. Actually, is there an Immortal? Is he only just now getting a robotics facility? No, he's only just now getting it.
Yeah, he doesn't have any observers either, so he's going to need to use the Oracle in order to really reveal those lurkers. I don't think Fmtc is going to bother defending his third. He's just going to try to hold on to his natural using these lurkers.
One Hydra wanted to defend.
Yeah. He's just kind of poking up, seeing, can I defend this? Nope. He needs lurkers, and he needs them very quickly before those.
There's no way. There's
Shade
no way
on
he's going to
top.
commit. Okay, yeah. He just bought a little bit of time there to snipe the third.
All right,
Here
so
we go.
5 lurkers in production, but Harstem, he is more than content. You know, he's just established his own third once again, taking out his opponents. The only thing I can really see Fmtc do at this stage is go for another push, try to kill,
Yeah.
get a good position.
He's going to go for the Lurker in the Nidus. Lurkers in the Nidus can be extremely potent. If you manage to burrow the Lurkers on the top of the ramp, you can deal a huge amount of damage. But luckily for Harstem, he's got a great map vision. There are no queens available this time around for transfusion. And even the stasis ward comes out. Oh my, that's so dirty.
Oh, this
I mean, look, one of them is going to be able to deal some damage. Yay.
Those are just 4 lurkers that go kablooey. Like, what do you do? Is there detection here though?
There's no detection just yet, if I'm not mistaken. Observer currently being chrono boosted, second one as well. That one is going to have to move over all the way from the third towards the main, but shortly it will be spawned. And yeah, there's just simply so many Protoss units here available. They
GG,
get
good
absolutely
luck.
shut down. Harstem wins the series, moves on to the grand finals, and will be facing off against Uthermal. The smile is back.
Cheeky smile from Harstem. That really says it all. Wow, such a straightforward series. Like,
Yeah.
at no point really did Fmtc come close, to be honest.
No. I would love to see the series from earlier on into this tournament, actually, that they
Yeah.
played as well. Obviously, once again, right? FMPC ended up winning that one 2-1. Now, we are going to be joined here by Harstem very shortly. Going to scoot over, make some room.
Yeah, so we can grab a chair and snuggle in right between us.
You want to grab the chair? Oh, we see the smile.
Low chair in chat. There we go. Hey there, Kev.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
How does it feel to beat Zerg Cheese?
Yeah, great.
Feels good, man.
He got me the first time around, so
Yeah.
it's time for some revenge, isn't it?
Did he do the same build? We didn't see your earlier series. We were kind of wondering what was happening in that series. The one you lost to the one.
Different. He did a
Okay.
proxy hatch, he did a link flood, and 12 pool, and I beat the 12 pool. I lost to the proxy hatch and I lost to the link flood, which was very, like, the proxy hatch I should have lost, but the link flood I was perfectly prepared, but then I forgot to activate my oracle when he dropped in my main.
Oh,
So I don't know. I didn't really feel too scared, honestly. Like, it just,
all right.
it was like one build I didn't scout properly, and the other one I just had a brain fart. Like, well,
It happens.
and I knew he was gonna cheese me every game. There's no way this
Yeah.
guy's gonna beat me in macros. So
This series honestly looked very solid, very one-sided. Definitely,
Yeah.
like, did you go into it just playing very defensively, knowing that you were probably going to win in the late game? I mean,
I wasn't even gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna camp on 2 bases, but
Yeah.
I was just, I don't know. I scouted everything pretty well, and
Yeah. You went for this really early probe scout, it seemed like every game.
but that's more to block the natural hatchery than
Yeah,
to
yeah.
really scout.
True.
Like, actually against most all-ins, it's better to have the probe after gate because you have like 100, 120 more minerals if you do it like that, or maybe 80, I don't know. Like, you have a lot more minerals. It feels very nice, but I was like, you know, I still want to block his natural, so then I can do some damage with the 2 adapts.
Yeah, you had some cheeky blocks going on there, especially in the last game.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
was quite some time.
the
He was
last
floating
game.
some money there, wasn't he?
well, he
Like
actually
450 or
he had
350?
the pull down in the main for a while, so you guys were dancing in a natural, like the silly
Yeah,
dance. But
yeah.
then you came back down and continued blocking.
Yeah.
It's just you know, little bits and pieces that give you an advantage later on, and I mean, it showed as well. You just simply had a lot more stuff. That's kind of what it came down to in the series. Like, it wasn't necessarily like, you know, you even knowing exactly what was going on. Did you feel like confused about any of his builds, or did you just know exactly what it was you were
Well,
gonna have to deal with?
it was gonna be so game 1. I was scared of proxy hatch, so I checked the gold and I checked around my base with a probe, and there was no proxy hatch. So I don't know, like, I just built, and then I didn't see a natural. It was like, all right, it's gotta be it's gotta be either a speedling all in or yeah, like, I couldn't imagine anything else. When I saw Overlord speed, I was thinking of like Queen Ling, Bane maybe,
Yeah.
but then he went with roaches, and I don't know, it took so long. I had like 2 immortals out.
Yeah, that fight took forever.
The shield batteries are pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
So,
It's made about 4.
yeah, next game's coming up. It's going to be the grand final. You versus Uthermal. I think everyone had predicted it. I think everyone's been looking forward to it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Uthermal's very good. I like to think I'm very good as well, but
I mean,
it's yeah, I'm actually the defending champion, I guess.
You are.
Yeah, I beat him last year 4-3. I was feeling a
Wait.
lot less confident back then, so Maybe
you
this
win.
time it will be turned around. I feel confident and I lose. Would
Yeah,
make a
you
lot of
will.
sense.
Darren for his Protos, of course, as well, right? How do you currently like the matchup? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's? I see the smile.
It's all right. I do. Nah, it's good for Protoss. Obviously, I played a bunch of games with Major, like trading some games with him. So I don't know, I feel pretty confident. If I just play my regular level, I think we should at least have a good final.
You've
But
seen his aggressive style and everything. You know what he's like, right?
yeah, I know what he likes. I know what he is like as well. So yeah, he's
Have you made any bets amongst each other?
no bets. Me and you Thermal don't bet about that. Winning is good enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, that was it for the semifinals. I will also be saying goodbye. Next game will be casted between by Loco, of course, and Talandros, so you won't be seeing me. So for my just for me, bye-bye for
Thank
now.
you very much for the cast, my man.
Oh, thank you.
Solid work.
It's going to be the grand finals, guys. We're going to throw it over to Frank right now, and I really hope you're going to enjoy it.
All right, guys, it is almost